I caught up with an old friend and she was telling me that she got divorced. And I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids, and I just got lonely and bored. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or like they had just got married, and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house, they had nice things, like he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced, and now she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I can hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club, they just want to go to the bar, they just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you are single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, he already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that?
This is a prime example of a woman making the mistake of leaving a man based on the 90-10 theory. If you guys don't know what the 90-10 theory is, it's where a man can have 90% of what a woman wants in a man, but she becomes so focused on the 10% that that man doesn't have that she breaks it off. She lets him go even though he has 90% of what she wants. And look, when a woman does this, she is fully convinced that she can find a man with 100% of what she wants. And then she goes out into the dating pool and she tries to find a man with that 10%. She thinks initially that this is all that she really wants, and that is what she's focused on. Until she starts cycling through these men, and what she finds is that they don't have all the 90% that her ex did. She finds out the hard way that men don't actually all have that 90% that her husband had. That's why she didn't appreciate it to begin with, because she thought that every man, or at least many men, had the same qualities as her husband, but the 10% was lacking, and that's what she needed to find. Well, over time, she realizes that she made a mistake, that she should have appreciated that 90%. And as far as the 10% that was lacking, maybe she could have either, one, accepted it because she knew that the 90% made up for it, or 2, she could have agreed with her husband to work on it. But with that, she needs to be open to taking some accountability for herself and her own actions, and potentially looking at changing some things that she does. This is such an important message for women to hear, because you cannot go back on it, because what this man did is that he realized that he was missing out, right? That she may have only had 50% of what he wanted. And then what happened when she released him? He found somebody else. And I bet you anything that that woman, that next woman, appreciates everything about that man. But what really kind of stinks about his new relationship is that you can tell by how this friend is talking that his ex-wife is jealous. She is questioning why he ended up going for a woman that has kids, and he is supporting her, and she is a stay-at-home mom, essentially. Newsflash, You had that and you let it go. But if she doesn't take accountability for that, she doesn't realize that it was her loss, that she made the mistake, that is final, there's no going back. She is probably going to dislike that other woman that's going to be around her children for no reason other than she is getting to reap the benefits of being with that good man. So that is why this is a cautionary tale.
This woman had a provider husband for 11 years, 3 kids, a big house, nice things, and she got bored because he worked too much. So she divorced him to party and go to clubs. And now she's jealous and upset that he found a woman who appreciates him. The audacity is absolutely delusional. She left 90% for the 10%. Her husband was a provider, the exact thing she's now looking for and can't find. But she threw him away because he wasn't going to the club enough. All they want to do is have fun. Welcome to the dating pool, girl. You thought you could find 100% when you had 90%. Wrong. Now you're getting 10% and hating it.
No, I'm in a different stage today. Honestly, I literally have been having a great week, amazing week, and then all of a sudden today, my emotions, I had the craziest thoughts, and I wonder, does anybody else feel this way? Like, I feel like I'm in mourning of the life I thought that I was gonna have, and I'm kind of pissed at myself. I stayed in a marriage for 23 years and built up a family and my ex's career and everything, and we literally just got to where it was supposed to be everything we dreamed of. Like, owned a company, making, almost $1 million, and that was my breaking point, and I left it all. And I'm not a person that is about money, and I'm not a person who feels like they have to have like labels and name brands and all that stuff. But I really have found that, like, I've kind of been in mourning of the, like, oh my gosh, like, I gave it all up. And I don't have a traditional career. I'm a photographer that in my marriage, it was made to be a hobby. So it wasn't like I had a 9-to-5 where I got 401, where I got steady income, all that. Yes, I market the crap out of my business. Yes, I'm an amazing photographer. And yes, I have so many amazing clients. They're great. But the reality was, like, everything was around my family. So when I chose to leave, I gave it all up. Like, all up. And most people are like, oh, well, you should have got your end in court. No, South Carolina has some crazy rules. And I came out of a situation where I had been mentally abused, financially abused for 23 years. Like, I was gaslit for so long that when I finally left, I had no clue that the worst was yet to come in the 1 year of separation. And so it's weird because I find that I just thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I thought, I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. Like, you made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are like college and one's almost out of high school. Like, you made it. Like, it didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. It wasn't that bad. And I literally just called my friend. I was like freaking out because, like, I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. Like, I'm terrified. I don't have 401k. My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out and then terrorized for the next year that I couldn't even think straight to help the people that wanted to help me. It wasn't that bad. And the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And there's just timelines that you can't stop. And so it is what it is. And, I'm 47 years old. It's not like I'm 25, but it is terrifying. Like, I could have stayed. I had a huge house and all my bills were paid for, and I never had to think how they were going to get paid. My grass was cut. Well, not the last year of separation. But all the basic things that keep the image up. And I gave up my entire image that I was trained to have for my family for 23 years. Like, I was the stay-at-home mom, and I made the image of we were the perfect family. I have beautiful children. They were dressed right. They, did top sports like cheer and football and went to all that stuff. And I was, the cheer mom and, did all that stuff and then did photography on the side just to make money, to make ends meet while he built his career up. And I stayed long enough to just give it all up when it was like right there.
Okay, so this woman stayed 23 years in an abusive marriage, finally leaves when they hit success, and now she's having second thoughts because she's scared about money. That makes total sense, honestly. Like, she's grieving. She built this whole life, the perfect family image, the big house, the successful husband, and she walked away from all of it. That's a lot to process, especially when the alternative is being broke and rebuilding at 47. But here's the thing. She left an abusive situation. That takes guts. The fact that she's having maybe I should have stayed thoughts, that's normal trauma brain, not actual regret. Abuse messes with your head like that.
Not signing the divorce papers. Why am I not surprised? Why am I a little surprised? I should have seen this coming. He has dragged me for the last 30 days, making me think that he is on board with our uncontested divorce when he had no intention of following this through. Tonight, I got an email saying that he filed something. I don't know what it is, but in it, he's complaining that I put the utilities in my name. I got my own car insurance policy and my own cell phone plan. Those 3 things, he said, do immediately. He moved out. He said, get those out of my name today. So I did. After I did, he said, look, in these documents, it says you're not allowed to do that. Okay. So also in this thing that he filed, he's complaining about all of these lies. Like he's saying all these lies. Things like, I'm not submitting receipts to him and I'm not getting him proof of my insurance and I'm not homeschooling appropriately. I don't know. Groceries. There's something in there about groceries. So I messaged him and I asked him what the heck. And I just kind of told him like, you know what? This is getting too messy. We need attorneys. I thought we could do this. I was stupid to think that we could. Let's get attorneys. And he was like, no, okay. If I withdraw that thing that I filed, can we just work it out on our own? I was like, no, too little, too late.
Attorney texted me last night. I'm officially divorced. I didn't cry last night, but I went straight to bed and then I had some pretty messed up dreams. And I don't know, this morning it's really like, it's just been such a long road. I'll never understand the cruelty and the discard. I'm not crying because I want him back. I'm crying because I'm alone now. You know, I don't really have anybody. I'm crying because our family's broken up. I'm crying because I only get my kids half time. I'm crying because I have to sell my house and find some place to live. I'm crying because he's off, like, living his best life with somebody new. And I'm still trying to process and heal and become my best self. I'm crying because of you go from loving somebody to becoming like complete strangers. I'm crying for my kids. I'm crying because I'm 52 years old and the thought of dating sounds terrible. I'm angry because of the lies that were told. It's all coming to a head right now. It's like the final letdown because this has been, 15 months since we separated. Next chapter loading, right? I will never understand. Especially, when they go for somebody who's 15 years younger than you. Here's to being divorced.
I don't know how else to document things, but this This is the ugly side of separation and divorce, when you don't truly understand what is going on, when you are stepping into a new career and the person that is supposed to be your person is not there to tell you how happy they are for you and how proud they are for your first day. When you can't stop crying because you miss their touch, you miss their sarcasm, you miss everything about them. You miss their smell in the morning. You miss their go grab a Red Bulls. You miss every single ounce of them. And you don't know what to do. But this is day one of my journey of being a 40-year-old, newly licensed registered nurse who worked her butt off to get here, that is also going to go through a divorce from the person that she thought she was going to spend all of eternity with. So please don't judge if you see me out today and I can't stop crying, or if you ask me how I'm doing and I don't have an answer, because I don't. I don't know how I am. I know that I feel empty and I feel hollow, and I am trying my best.
So, she left her husband, and now on the day she becomes a nurse, something she worked her butt off for, she's falling apart and missing him and wishing he was there to celebrate with her. That's rough timing, but also that's the consequence of the choice she made. She's grieving someone she decided to leave. The hard part is she can't enjoy this huge win because she's alone. And yeah, that sucks. But if he was a good enough person to want celebrating with on her achievement day, maybe that was worth thinking about before the divorce, not after. Now she's stuck processing both, the loss of the marriage and trying to celebrate her career. That's a lot at once.
Like nobody prepares you for the loneliness you feel in your late 20s and just like this shift. So basically, I stay in almost every weekend, and my life is very busy because of my job. I'm traveling a lot, and I'll go out like for events and do things like that. But for the most part, I stay in like every weekend. And it makes me feel like such a loser and so lonely. And most of my friends live with their boyfriends, or other people I see online have these big groups of friends that they do stuff every weekend. And I never really have plans. Like I've stayed in all day, just watching the challenge, and I've been going on walks with my dog, and it's a beautiful day outside, and I literally have nothing to do. And I feel like in my early 20s, I had a big group and we would all do stuff every single weekend. But I feel like then slowly people started moving on with their lives and moving in with their significant others and having kids and getting married. And I have none of that. So I'm kind of just here feeling lonely, and kind of ashamed of that. And I feel like on the internet, my life looks like so cool. Like maybe it doesn't, but like that, like you being an influencer, you get to do all this cool stuff, and it's so amazing and so cool. But then sometimes I'm like, okay, well, outside of like that world, like I don't really have much to come home to. And that makes me sad, but maybe other people are feeling like this. And yeah.
Long-term, like chronic singleness that I have a really hard time explaining to people is this concept of not being anyone's person. And I think often when single people, I've had this conversation with other single people, of course, but like when we try to explain this concept to married people, to our friends who are in long-term relationships, to our families, they seem to think that it's coming from some sort of like self-pitying, woe is me place. And I just want you to hear me saying this for what it is, which is the truth. I am no one's person. I do not have a person. I am no one's first choice. I am no one's first call. I am not the person that someone texts first thing in the morning or last thing before they go to bed. I am no one's, hey, I got home safe. Hey, I'm on my way. There is no one on this planet that exists that is that for me, or that I am that for them. I am loved. I am extremely loved. I have friends who love me. I have parents who love me. I have the Lord of this universe that loves me. But I do not have a person or a partner who is my person. And I think people hear this and they think it's coming from some sort of like self-pitying, like, oh, I'm so sad place. But it is objective truth that I am no one's person and I do not have a person. And does that suck sometimes? Absolutely. Like, are there a lot of days that I really wish I had a person where like I go on these really fun solo adventures? I love doing them. They're so fun. Are there days that I like wish I had someone to share it with? Absolutely. I try really hard to romanticize my life and to not let being alone stop me from doing the things I want to do. I travel, I go to restaurants, I go on adventures, I go hiking, I go camping, I go to the beach. I go out in this world because you have to, because otherwise like you're just wasting your life. And I don't know how long I will be single, and I don't want to eventually, if I do get to meet my person, I don't want to meet them and realize that I had all this time that I just wasted and I wasn't really living life and I wasn't growing and becoming the person that I wanted to be before I met them. So I try to wake up every day and I just try to get out there and make the best of this existence that I have. But do I wish a lot of the time that it looked different than it does? Do I wish I had romantic love? Do I wish I had a person? Yeah. Yeah, most of us do. And I don't know how to end this beyond saying that I'm just doing my best. And I love you. And that's it. Okay, bye.
Okay, so she's been single a long time, and she's feeling the weight of not being anyone's person. That's real, and I get it. It sucks sometimes, but here's what I'm seeing. She's not actually complaining. She's living her life. She travels, adventures, goes hiking, goes to restaurants. She's out here doing her thing. That's solid. The thing about not being anyone's person, yeah, that's a legitimate loneliness that friends and family don't feel the same way a partner does. That's just true. But she's not sitting around waiting for it. She's building a life worth sharing when a person does show up. Real talk, a lot of single people aren't living like this. They're stuck waiting, bitter, not growing. She's doing the opposite. She's romanticizing her own life and refusing to waste time. That's actually the move.
Hey, it's Jenna. Recently divorced and kind of figuring out this new way of life. I was married for 23 years and with that person for 3 years prior. So for a total of 26 years of my life, I have been out of the game of dating, making friends, going out, and stuff like that as a single woman in her 40s. Yeah, I'm 47. So I've raised children. My children are adult children now. And it's kind of interesting because it's so lonely at this stage in life after divorce, especially with older children, because you make all your friends when they're younger, or at least I did. I met my friends mostly through my kids' activities. I was a stay-at-home mom and I took them to practices. I went to school, all that stuff. Hey, it's me, Jenna. Recently divorced and trying to survive this year. I'm gonna be honest. The random things that trigger me are the craziest things. I'm sitting in my car, literally sitting in my car, trying to pull myself together because I did what any mom does, and I pulled an emergency drive to my daughter because she needed something and drove an hour because she's at college to drop something off, and was just so thankful that like I could do it for her and fit her in my schedule. And the littlest thing she said just triggered me. And this is the second time in a week that my child has triggered me without even meaning to. So we're getting ready to leave and she's like, well, I'll be home because I'm going to be at the Clemson Notre Dame game because Dad's going to take us all. You think that's nothing, right? Like nothing, right? And it instantly, like she instantly saw a switch in me. And she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing. Because, you know, I don't talk about that stuff. I don't want her to worry. So last week she says, oh, well, Dad said for Christmas we're gonna go to Gatlinburg and be there for the holidays and do Dollywood. That man never once ever went to Gatlinburg or Dollywood ever in his entire life before he met me. That was where my family always went. I'm from Tennessee. That's something we always did. It was a bonding thing. And now that's what he's trying to do. It's like he's taken every single tradition I've ever done and now turned it into his. Everything I've ever done. Now I find myself triggered because during the hardest time of my year last year, of me literally trying to stay alive, me dealing with all the craziness of my ex, the lying, the alienation, him calling me a whore, him having my children call me a whore. Why? Not because I did anything bad, because I wore spaghetti straps and all that. And the only way that he could use my children against me was to say I was on social media. I'm a photographer. I make silly TikToks. Honestly, I'll probably progress more with my TikToks because at first they were just pictures. But the more I was stressed, the more I hid in myself, the more I tried to survive, the more I took refuge in TikToks and finding stuff that, resonated with me. And honestly, it's the way I realized what a covert narcissist was, or how bad my abuse was, or mental abuse, or financial abuse, and all that stuff. Like, literally, TikTok has saved my life in so many ways. Who would think, Mom, we're going to Gatlinburg for Christmas, would trigger me? This man's had at least 3 vacations in the past year to like really nice places with my children. At least 3 that I know of, because he has them lie to me. He has them outright lie to me about so much stuff. So who knows? God knows what they've done. And then the holidays and all that. Now my triggers are, oh, he gets to just go and take my kids to the Notre Dame and Clemson game. I wish I could do that. I can't afford to do that. Why? Because he screwed me. He lied about owning a company. And there's ways to prove it. I'm trying to be happy and show my kids that like life can move on. But the triggers, the random fucking triggers that have me sitting in a Quick Trip parking lot trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month easily, or at least he did. He made almost $1 million the year before we divorced and then lied about it. He has all the money at his fingertips to do whatever he wants, to buy my children, take them on trips, take them on vacations. Why I literally have the bare minimum to pay my bills on top of trying to restart a career because it was a hobby, because I was a stay-at-home mom. And now I sit here with the triggers. A fucking trigger because he's going to the Clemson Notre Dame game with my kids. I can't just randomly afford that. Hell, I can't even get them all in the same room at the same time. So I sit here, and I'm gonna get through this trigger. I'm gonna suck it up, buttercup.
So let's just be real
and
here.
I'm move on. But it's not fair. Like, it's not fair. So tell me how am I not supposed to be feeling triggered or screwed? Because the reality, yeah, there's no doubt I easily could make bank right now. I've heard it a ton. I can make an OnlyFans. I mean, if you knew how many offers I've had from men who literally say to me, oh, I'll take care of you, just do X, Y, and Z, or be my girlfriend, or marry me, I'll take care of you the rest of your life. I don't want that. I don't want to do an OnlyFans. I will not do an OnlyFans. Like, I have nothing against people do. Like, to each their own. I don't want to do that. I don't want my children to see that. I will not be with another man so that he can take care of me. Like, I didn't want that to begin with. I got married because I was in love and wanted to be married forever and wanted to build a family. I'm sure as hell not going to go with some man now just so that he can pay my bills. So when people say, how are you ready to date? Because this was a thing, he's ready to date too, like, but I'm trying to just live and survive right now. So it's funny, I've been on like 5 different dates, like different guys, multiple dates with some of them, but only 5 dates, different guys I've ever been on dates. And you would think it would be a lot more. I'm just not that girl. Like, I'm just not that girl that's a serial dater. And honestly, like, it's crazy. Like, I could do a whole TikTok on things I've learned now that I have to ask. Like, who knew that you had to ask, are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? Does anybody think you're married? Does anybody think that they're your girlfriend? have you ever been with a man? Because if you've ever been with a man, I don't want to be with you. I don't care if you're bisexual or whatever, that's your thing, but no, I don't want to be with someone who wants to be with a man. Do you have a job? Are you a criminal? Do you do drugs? Like, it's amazing the list of stuff you have to do.
Okay, so her ex makes $18,000 a month, lied about owning a company, and is out here taking her kids to Clemson games in Gatlinburg while she's sitting in a Quicter parking lot trying not to cry because she can't afford it. That's rough. And the worst part, he's taking her family traditions, the stuff SHE introduced, and making them his thing with the kids. That's not just unfair. That's psychological warfare. But here's what I'm seeing. She's not bitter about it. She's triggered by it, which is different. She acknowledges it's not fair, but she's not letting it break her. She won't do OnlyFans, won't marry for money, won't sell herself short just to keep up with him. That takes real strength. The vetting questions she's asking guys now, that's not paranoia. That's wisdom. After what she went through, of course she's asking if you're married, if you do drugs, if you have a job. Those are reasonable red flags to check. Is it unfair that he has all the money and she's restarting from zero at 47? Absolutely. Is she handling it with integrity anyway? Also, absolutely. That's the move. Not becoming like him, just surviving better than anyone would expect.